Robbinsdale swinging in, and it's a fair ball, and Wayzata wins it. Champlin Park back to state for the third straight year.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam. I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Jay Wilcox. This week on the show, we'll hear from the Champlin Park baseball team as they aim for a conference title this week. And in our Sports Jam Spotlight, hear from two local women who helped the Gophers softball team to the NCAA tournament.
And we'll get started with softball. The section playoffs get started Monday for local teams in Section 5 4A. The Champlin Park Rebels hope to be in the mix by the end of the tournament. The Rebels at home to face Armstrong last week. Already up 2-0. Champlin Park gets another as Piper Otto grounds a pass to third baseman. Aaron Reardon comes in to score as the Rebels go up 3-0 in the second inning. Same inning, Abby Gilk connects, driving it over the fence in right center for a home run. The Rebels get 6 runs in the second inning to take a 6-0 lead over the Falcons. Armstrong comes back in the third. Leah Baker hits a line drive into left center field that gets into the gap. Claire Holden and Kate Lloyd-Olt score to pull the Falcons within 6-2. And they look for more as Mary Isaac slaps a hit to center. Watch the strong throw by Reardon. She fires home to get Holden at the plate and end the Falcons' rally. In the bottom of the fourth, Holly Blaska gets in on the fun, tagging this 2-run shot to right center for the Rebels, and their lead grows to 8-2. And they continue to hit in the fifth, scoring 5 more runs to finish the job. Blaska knocks in a pair, even with a little hesitation from the second runner. Champlin Park rolls in this one. They win a 13-3 in 5 innings over Armstrong.
Armstrong looked to bounce back from that loss in their annual Robbinsdale rivalry game against Cooper on Friday night. The Falcons and the Hawks meeting at Robbinsdale's Spangers Park. And Armstrong jumps out early, top of the first, and Kelly O'Keefe drives it over the right fielder's head with the bases loaded. All 3 runners touch home on a triple for O'Keefe, and it's quickly 3-0. They add another run to go up 4-0. In the top of the second, Lloyd-Olt lifts a fly ball to center field for Armstrong, and it's deep enough to score Mary Isaac. The Falcons seem to be in control with that early 5-0 lead. But Cooper gets the bats going. Allie Adams strokes a hit to left to bring Emma Jennings home in the bottom of the second inning. The Hawks pull to within 5-1. Then trailing at 6-1, Cooper closes the gap in the bottom of the third as Maddie McGuire's base hit to left scores Olivia Adams. The Hawks get 2 more in the frame, and they pull within 6-4. We jump ahead to nighttime in the 7th inning as Armstrong adds insurance runs. Courtney Howe's dribbler scores a run. The Falcons take a 9-5 lead in the bottom of the 7th. And it turns out they need those extra runs. Cooper rallies again with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. This sac fly brings them within 9-8 and gets the tying run to third. But Armstrong holds on for a wild 9-8 win over Cooper. That brings us to playoff time in softball. It's full speed ahead for section play beginning Monday. Maple Grove is the number 2 seed behind Centennial in the Section 5 4A tournament. Rogers is 3rd and Champlin Park 4th. Osseo is number 7 with Park Center 8th. The Section 5 tournament starting Monday with second round games Tuesday and third round on Thursday. And a big switch this year, the tournament games are at the site of the high seeds. In Section 6 4A, defending champion Hopkins is the top seed. The Royals are followed by Edina, St. Louis Park, and Wayzata. Armstrong is the number 6 seed. Section 6 play begins Monday with second round games Wednesday and third round play Friday. And the later rounds this season are at Hopkins. Benilde is the 3rd seed in Section 6 3A. No other local teams in Classes A, 2A, or 3A are seeded higher than 5th in their respective sections.
Section team champions will be crowned this week in boys tennis in the area. The top 2 seeds advanced in Section 5AA. Top seed Wayzata facing St. Michael Albertville in the semifinals. Number 1 singles John Foley in the far court. He strokes a forehand winner here. Later, Foley serves to set up a backhand winner, and he'll take his match in straight sets. 1 doubles Michael Deal and Max Leao in the far court for Wayzata. Deal with a backhand volley for the winner. And on set point, it's Leo with the return winner, and the Trojans duel takes their match in straight sets. Two singles, Caden Sigerud coming to the net for STMA. Johnny Nudler, though, a perfect lob for a point. And later, a hard forehand here from Nudler sets up a volley winner, and he also wins in straight sets. Three singles, Jake Mendel serves and rips the forehand winner. He wins a close tiebreaker to take the first set. Two doubles, Wayzata 7th grader Colin Badoon strokes the backhand return winner. And his partner Nick Uphoff rifles an ace serve here. Trojans sweep all 7 matches to advance. In the other semifinal, Maple Grove swept past Spring Lake Park 7-0. So it's Maple Grove and Wayzata playing for the section title. The match is Tuesday at 3 p.m. at Osseo High School. Earlier in the week, the Crimson hosted Irondale in the quarterfinal round match. Number 1 singles, Ben Bakke rifles an ace serve for Grove in the first set. Later, Bakke with some nice net play, and he'll win his match in straight sets. Number 2 singles, Josh Miller in the near court for Maple Grove. He'll get the point on the way to a straight set win for the Crimson. At number 3 singles, Harrison Schindler's backhand to the corner sets up the smash winner for Maple Grove. Irondale's Dan Wynn comes to the net here, but Schindler floats a perfect lob for the point, and he wins 6-2, 6-2. 4 singles, Jordan Chaco strokes the nice forehand to get the point. He loses the match, but the Crimson win all the rest, and they win it 6-1.
Now to track and field. Despite holding some of their top athletes out in preparation for the state true team meet, Wayzata's team depth showed off as the Trojans turned in some great performances at the Lake Conference Championships. And Wayzata, the host team for the conference meet. This is Wayzata's Carissa Travis in the shot put. She wins with a best toss of 36 feet, 3 3/4 inches. She also wins the discus. Jacob Eku of Hopkins doesn't have his best here in the discus prelims, but he does come through in the finals to win with a throw of 141.7. To the track in the boys 110 hurdles, a 2-man race, and Darian Evascu of Eden Prairie edges Danny Welshons of Wayzata for the top spot. On to the girls 4x200 relay, and Hopkins with anchor Elena Contreras rolls to the win in a time of 1:44.40. They also win the 4x100. The Royals boys 4x200 sets a new conference and track record and comes close to a state record. Anchor Joe Fonbella blazes home, and their time is 1:26.94. To the boys high jump, a good duel as Nick Hedlund of Wayzata clears 6 hits here, and he places second. King Alla of Hopkins also clears 6-6, and he takes first place with fewer misses than Hedlund. And in the boys 400 meters, Edina's Abner Mosetti takes the top spot, with Wayzata taking 4 of the next 5 places. As we check the team scores, Wayzata wins the boys meet with 116 points. The next 3 are closely bunched. Hopkins is second, followed by Edina and Eden Prairie. Minnetonka takes the girls' title with 115.5 points. Edina is second, with Wayzata third, Eden Prairie fourth, and Hopkins is fifth. And it's a great showing for Wayzata at the state true team meet. The Trojans boys roll to their 6th consecutive title. Moundsview is second, Hopkins third, and Rosemount fourth in the Class 3A meet. The Wayzata girls claim the 3A title ahead of Rosemount, Lakeville South, and Minnetonka.
And congratulations to the Wayzata teams.
Yeah, definitely performing well. They kind of really aim at that one, and it showed on that night. Stay with us. Up next on Sports Jam, we've got plenty of action from baseball, lacrosse, and more for you coming up next.
Welcome back to Sports Jam.
It's been a great spring so far for the Heritage Christian Academy baseball team. The Eagles have just 2 losses so far, and Friday night took on Providence Academy on a picture-perfect night at Clares Field. Top of the 3rd, the Eagles with the runner on 3rd. The fly ball by Steph Sawtell isn't all that deep, but Johnny Flynn races home and slides in. The score on Sawtell's sac fly for a 1-0 lead. Heritage adds one more in the inning as Taylor Broderson laces a low pitch the other way for a hit. At plate, Seth Halverson, it's 2-0 Eagles. Bottom of the 6th, Providence with 2 runners on, but Halverson gets the strikeout to end the frame. And he strikes out the side in the 7th as he tosses a gem, giving up 2 hits and striking out 13 as the Eagles win it 4-1. Two of the teams contending for the Northwest Suburban Conference baseball title met up in an important game. Champlin Park on their home field to take on Armstrong. A shaky defensive inning cost the Falcons. Pitcher Zach Myers fields the bunt but throws it past first. One run scores on the play, but right fielder Nate Pertula throws home and gets Nick Bauer at the plate. However, the next batter, Andrew Stifter, singles to right to score another run. Champlin Park goes up 2-0 through 2. Rebels lefty Max Loven is tough to hit. He strikes out the side in the fourth and has a no-hitter until the 6th inning. In the bottom of the 5th, the Rebels break it open. Vincent Lamberty drills a double to left center. Owen Trelstad and Noah Christensen score. That makes it 4-0 Rebels. Stifter follows with a single up the middle to score Bauer to make it 5-0. They add one more for a 6-0 lead. That's plenty for Loven, who finishes with a 3-hit shutout and 10 strikeouts as Champlin Park wins it 6-0. We will hear from the Rebels later in the show.
Park Center scored a win over Champlin Park last week. Right before that, the Pirates enjoyed a memorable comeback win. They hosted Irondale in the Northwest Suburban Conference game. Bottom of the 1st inning, tied at 1 with the Pirates' Jackson Dwyer singles to center to score Tanner Stein, and Park Center leads 2-1. Top of the 3rd, the Knights put together a big inning. A bases-loaded walk issued to Eric Osseo, scores Dan Foley to put the Knights ahead. Later in the 3rd, Charlie Saylor dumps a run-scoring single just over second base. Colin Ward scores. The hit caps a 7-run Irondale inning, and they lead the Pirates 9-2. In the 6th inning, Irondale leads 11-4. Looking for more. Max Strong muscles the ball into the right center field gap. Nate Foley comes in, and it's 12-4 Knights. That's the score headed to the bottom of the 7th. But Derek Dugas singles to left, brings Stein around for a run, and it's 12-6. And the Pirates continue to battle in the 7th inning. Mitch Myers' grounder to second base is bobbled. Matt Sporey scores, and it's 12-10. And with the bases loaded, Stein unloads here. He drives the ball to the fence in left center field. Dylan McKenzie, Sam Kill, and Meyer all score on Stein's game-winning double. The Pirates scored 9 runs in the 7th inning. They beat Irondale 13-12. The Breck girls lacrosse team features some good talent and a new head coach this spring as the Mustangs will try to take a run at Blake in the section playoffs. Friday night, they hosted a good Chanhassen team in a non-conference game. Mustangs get on the board first. Taylor Nelson passes to Eloise Cherian, and her goal puts Breck on the board 1:16 into the game. Natalie Ott had a big game for the Mustangs. She maneuvers her way in front here and scores, putting Breck ahead 3-1. A similar play by Ott nets her another goal. Junior midfielder scored 5 times in the game. Mustangs would lead it 6-5 at halftime. Second half, Rowan Hodgins attacks and she shoots and scores for Chanhassen, tying the game at 6. The Storm gain a little momentum in this game. Hodgins with 5 goals on the night. Midway through the second half, it's Chan's Emma Silverdale getting past the defender. She goes low with the score of the shot, and that score makes it 8-6 Storm. Down 11-10 in the final seconds of regulation. Cherian ties it for Breck, scoring from the free position. It's 11-11 heading to overtime. But Chanhassen wins it there. Hodgins, who will be a Division I swimmer next year, pretty good in lacrosse too. She scores the game winner. The Storm edged the Mustangs 12-11 in overtime. It's been a great spring so far for the Benilde St. Margaret's boys lacrosse team. The Red Knights are unbeaten and ranked #1 in the state. They hosted Eden Prairie last week. Third quarter, tied at 3. Benilde's Quinn Elan picks up the ground ball, spins away from the defenders and scores there, putting the Red Knights on top. Just over a minute to go in the third. Jack Van Overbeek lasers in a goal, and BSM's up 5-3. Fourth quarter, Benilde's shot goes off the goalie's helmet, pops out to Shea Kinney Lenhart, who moves in, buries the shot. Red Knights keep their run going. Eric Weber gets to the front of the goal and scores. Benilde's up 7-3 at this point. They win at 8-3, and they are now 11 7-0 on the season, and they definitely look like a state contender this year, Jay.
Yeah, it sure seems like they've got a possibility to get deep into the postseason and maybe win it all. Straight ahead in our Sports Jam Spotlight, here from two University of Minnesota softball players from the northwest suburbs about the Gophers' strong season.
The University of Minnesota softball team recently won its third straight Big Ten tournament title to advance to the NCAA regionals. Two local women played big roles for the Gophers this spring. Jason Melillo profiled Maddie Houlihan and Sydney Smith in this week's Sports Jam Spotlight.
Maddie Houlihan collected 7 hits, scored 4 runs, and led the team with 5 runs batted in over the course of a long, wet Big Ten tournament. Houlihan was named Most Outstanding Player in helping lead the Gophers to their third straight tournament title.
She's confident, you know, it doesn't waver. That's one thing about Maddie. She's kind of like a bulldog. She's mentally tough. She's got some snarl and killer instinct, which I really appreciate. But she was laser focused.
Playing free, playing fearless, leaving nothing behind, and really just swinging at strikes. I think if you can swing at strikes and take balls, you give yourself the best chance to be successful at the plate. And you know, I think I just did a good job of that, of controlling my zone and controlling my game and just having a good mental approach every at-bat.
Houlihan has been a money player for the Gophers since her freshman season. She grew up in Plymouth and starred at Benilde St. Margaret's before heading to the U. Houlihan says her approach to the game hasn't changed since moving to the college level.
Literally think my approach has been the same since my first step out of college. Obviously you make adjustments because it was a hard adjustment, but I mean, all the coaches I've had have been amazing at, you know, helping me adjust and just making me better throughout the years.
Maple Grove's Sydney Smith took a more indirect route to Dinkytown. After dominating the circle for the Crimson, Smith went to LSU before transferring to Minnesota. Smith was up and down this spring while battling through some injuries, but she worked a few key innings for the Gophers in the conference tournament.
That's just the goal, is to be able to do whatever you can for the team, and I think I just didn't let the injuries weigh on me, and I just kept pushing through and just knowing that when my time comes, I'm going to be able to do something for my team and just do whatever I can when it's asked of me.
She's had to battle some injuries, and transferring is hard, change is hard, you know, that's the reality of it. And so there's a lot of different things that she's had to work through, and the injuries kind of slowed her up a little bit, but talk about maximizing her opportunities and coming through for us when we needed her to in both those games. And again, without her, we wouldn't be saying that we're champions probably.
Maddie Houlihan and Sydney Smith are part of a program that's becoming a perennial power, and being local kids makes the ride a whole lot more fun.
It's awesome. I love representing Minnesota. I love the fact that I'm able to play for my home state and play in front of, I think, the best fans in the country. It's just been such a blessing to be able to come here and to wear this jersey. I love representing Minnesota. It's, you know, I've born and raised here, and I'm proud to play for the Gophers.
Minnesota played its way back from the losers bracket to reach the regional final over the weekend, but Minnesota ultimately lost to 5th-ranked Washington. Houlihan was 6 for 13 with 3 RBIs in the regional tournament. Smith tossed a complete game shutout and struck out 7 in an elimination game against Texas that advanced Gophers to the final. Jay talks baseball with the Champlin Park Rebels next.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The Champlin Park baseball team with a big victory over Armstrong as they battle for a conference championship, and we are joined by a couple of the Rebels that got it done. Owen, Trelstad, we'll start with you. And been an interesting season for everybody. You know, you get a lot of big games backed up and everything, but now you guys, you know, have started to play pretty good baseball down the stretch. How'd you feel about today's win and just the season overall?
I mean, at the beginning of the season, it kind of seems like we were having the same thing happen over and over again. We're losing off of a walk-off, but I mean, it feels like we're starting to develop more of a team now. It's a very new, a lot of new people on the team, which is different, but I think it's starting to click a little bit.
I guess every game down the stretch is kind of big, but this one, you know, Armstrong been having a good year too. How big was this win, and to get it in a convincing way like you guys did? Yeah,
it was a very big deal for the whole team yesterday. We didn't have as much luck. We didn't play like we can really play. Today we knew that we had to get it done for a very important conference game, and we got it done as a team.
Hey, you kind of touched on it. All of your losses at this point, one-run games. You know, that's good and bad in a way. You know, how do you guys look at it? You were in them all, but you know, how do you guys feel about it?
Obviously, it's unfortunate to lose by one, but it kind of gives us a little motivation, like letting us know that we can compete with every single team that we've played. We can beat every team that we've played, and I mean, it just gives us a little bit of hope for the rest of the season.
couple big conference games left, Andover and then Blaine, who's having a real good year too. How big is that going to be for a finale to get ready for the playoffs?
Again, we're going to have to keep trying our hardest, keep working as a team together, but I mean, we got a great amount of pitchers, we got a great person behind the plate, and just as a whole team, we got phenomenal players in a group.
All right, Owen, thanks for joining us. And Max Loven showing what he could do on the mound against Armstrong, and a no-hitter for pretty deep into the game, end up with a 3-hitter, 10 Ks. Is this kind of just another day at the office for you?
Well, no, I felt good today. I tried to keep it another day at the office, just try to do the same things that I've been doing all season, and it worked out.
You guys have certainly had some ups and downs, but like we said, a lot of close losses, but still in a position to maybe win a conference title, still in a position to have a good shot at getting back to state. Do you feel like this team's kind of rounded into shape pretty well?
Yeah, after our start, it feels good that right now it's the thick of things, and now that we got a chance, it's really exciting. We need to play our best baseball right now, and I think we can make a run.
You guys set a pretty good tone getting into the state tournament these last couple of seasons. Does this feel like another team that has a good shot to do it again?
Yeah, when we play good and we play the type of baseball that we know we can, we, just like Owen said, we can beat anybody. So I'm confident that we will play our best baseball and we will get back there, yes.
Yeah, I think winning a section title is obviously something people are shooting for the most, but you have a chance to possibly lock up a conference title too. What would that mean if you're able to do that?
Yeah, well, last year we had that chance and we lost in the game and to win the conference championship last year. So to get a chance this year would mean a lot, just for redemption and just to get a chance. Yeah, it'd be great.
All right, Max, thanks for joining us. Good luck in those games against Andover and Blaine, and we'll see you at section time again too.
Thank you.
Max Loven, star pitcher for the Champlin Park Rebels, as they win over Armstrong by a score of 6-0. And again, they're getting set for the Section 5 tournament coming up as well. We'll be back to wrap up Sports Jam, but first it's a look at our plays of the week.
Look at this pass. Look at that. Right there, right in her wheelhouse.
Here comes runner number 2. The throw to the plate is in time.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience. And as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Our game of the week is a Lake Conference baseball matchup featuring Hopkins and Wayzata. The game is Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. You can see it live on the web at ccxmedia.org or catch the replays Thursday night and Friday night at 7 p.m. on CCX1. That's channels 799 and 12 on Comcast.
And that will do it for this week's show.
Next week, highlights from section baseball, softball, tennis, and more. We are off on Memorial Day, so we'll see you Tuesday at our regular times here on Sports Jam.